can start. All right, so thank you so much for jumping on and discussing your experience, Howie, with my program. To give anybody that's watching an idea, Howie works for a nonprofit organization that helps educate and protect communities from mosquito-borne diseases around the world, which is very niche, but very fun at the same time. So let's jump straight into the questions. First question. Now, I generally ask people what state your ad grant was in prior to meeting me, but for everybody watching, Howie did not have a grant prior to meeting me. So let's just keep this a little bit more broadly speaking. Like, how are things going for your organization? How did your website traffic look prior to getting the grant?
I don't have the specific numbers, but we had launched our website about 3 years before we met Nichole. And it was going along fine, but we didn't really, there were two issues. One, we didn't really use analytics to improve our website. And number two, we didn't really, we didn't make an effort to drive traffic to the website. And I think that's, one of the results of working with Nichole was we were able to more than double our traffic to the website after we had the ad grant.
Yeah, very good. And I think I wrote some numbers down. I was just looking at performance prior, and I think website traffic was around 10,000 or so. And then after working with me, it was more near 30,000. So yeah, that's almost tripling, which is really great to see. And we're getting around, and do you mind if I share just the broad number of conversions you're getting in the grant? Is that
okay? Yeah, sure. Yep.
Yeah, so getting around 90 conversions per month and spending the entire $10,000 budget. And I think we were spending the budget as soon as we launched. I think it only took a couple of weeks to spend the whole 10 grand. So, and to give full disclosure to anybody that might be watching this video, it's very, very tough to spend the whole 10 grand for nonprofits. So this is a very niche and really special, scenario that Howie's organization had to be able to spend the entire budget straight away. So what advice, Howie, would you give someone who is sitting on the fence and deciding whether or not to enroll in the coaching program?
Oh, I think you should just jump right in and enroll in the coaching program. Simply because when we started, we actually didn't know what kind of impact it would have on our traffic. And I think the outcome was way more and way better than that we had anticipated. And I think I think the advice I would have is that you would discover opportunities along the way. So at the beginning, we didn't know what we didn't know. And I think it was through working with you, Nichole, that we actually discovered opportunities. And by helping us create the Google ads, you actually helped us organize our thinking around how we target different segments of our audiences. And I think it's through trying to come up with the Google ads or Google ad campaigns that worked, we revisited an audience analysis. So we actually, the work with you forced us to reflect on our audiences and to do some thinking around that. And it also forced us to prioritize our markets. So it was actually, it was very, very important that happened. And it actually, and working with you actually kind of pushed us in that direction.
Yeah, that's really great feedback. I don't even have anything to add to that because that was just so amazing. Thank you for speaking so highly on the program. So the next question is, what are some fears that you might have had prior to starting the coaching program? So sometimes people say time commitment, price, just the unknown. That's a pretty tough question, but did you have any fears?
Yeah. Well, I think personally, my fear was that I didn't have the technical know-how to do it, because I'm not I'm not analytics driven. I don't like numbers and spreadsheets, and I thought it would get very technical. And in some respects, it is quite technical, but I think you helped us through the really, really rough patches. Like for me, anyways, the rough patches being, like setting up the platform. So you did a lot of the really technical stuff for us, or helped us do it. And we came out of the other side, and now it's kind of just like monitoring and maintaining, which is something that we can do. But for me, yeah, the main fear was just not having the capacity on my team to keep it going.
Yeah, I hear that so much. I think people are really like nervous about their skill level, or perhaps they've been off the tools for a while and they're not sure how they're going to go. That's really good advice. Okay, and the last question, what advice would you give someone who is just about to start the coaching program to help them get the most out of each session?
Well, first of all, I think the sessions are really well organized in the first place. So you do a good job asking us for our goals beforehand. Um, and I like the way that you structure the whole program, and the way that you structure each session with, you start your session off by declaring that your energy is all, with us. I think that is really, it's beautiful. It's brilliant. And you're very patient throughout the whole thing with our questions. And there's always time at the end for us to ask our own questions. But in terms of advice for people to get the most out of each session, is actually just to spend like 5 or 10 minutes before each session to organize your thoughts and see what are the obstacles that or not obstacles, but what are the questions that you have that are preventing you from moving forward, and just to make sure that those questions are answered in that particular session.
Yeah, I love that. Like a little 5 minute sort of step back and getting yourself organized and getting your questions organized, rather than just jumping straight into the session and taking 10 to 15 minutes to actually get yourself going in the session. Yeah, I really like that. I think I do something similar during all of my sessions, probably. Well, I prepare a lot more than 5 minutes, but yeah, I sort of like to get myself together and write down all my questions and sort of like a little goal for the session. But
Yeah.
that's being like,
Yeah, but that's a practice actually that we should be doing for every meeting, in fact. And I think it's hard to do when it's back-to-back meetings. But for me, it's since I started my career, the important meetings I'm prepared for, and at the very, very minimum, I need to know, okay, where do I want this meeting to go?
Oh
And
yeah.
so now, as sort of a team leader, that's my job. Is I need to know where I want the meeting to go, and at the end of the meeting, I need to know whether I got there or not. And
Yeah, very good. Well, that's great advice. And just to sort of wrap up, thank you, Howie, so much for jumping on it and talking through your experience with my program. And if you're watching this testimonial and you're thinking, yes, I need my website traffic to also double, consider the Google Grant Coaching Program. There's going to be some information down below that you can use to go ahead and get started.